Good afternoon and welcome to the Appropriations Committee. We are going to be taking up some language today from the governor's supplemental budget. And before we begin our work, I will ask committee members to introduce themselves, and we will start with Representative Gatine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Drew Gatine. I represent parts of Saco, Scarborough, and Westbrook in the main House, and I am the House Chair of the committee.
Good afternoon. I'm Cameron Rennie. I represent Senate District 13, which is most of Lincoln County in the towns of Washington and Windsor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Senator Sue Bernard, and I represent the 37 communities of Northern Aroostook County.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Ducharme. I represent the three communities of District 71, which are Madison, Norridgewock, and Cornville.
Good afternoon. My name is Holly Stover. I represent House District 48, including the 6 coastal towns of Boothbay, Boothbay Harbor, Southport, Edgecombe, Westport Island, and South Bristol.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Decca Dalag. I represent House District 120, which is part of South Portland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm House Representative Ken Fredette, wearing glasses today if you don't recognize me. Joking. I represent House District number 33, which is 5 southern towns of southern Penobscot County.
Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Brennan. I represent District 115, which is part of Portland, and Representative Fredette, it's good to see you across the way.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Blyer, and I represent House District 138, which is Cornish, Leamington, and part of Hollis and Buxton.
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Matlack. I live in St. George, and I represent House District 43, which includes the communities of Cushing, Thomaston, South Thomaston, St. George, and part of Owl's Head, all in Knox County.
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Arad, and I represent House District 104, which includes New Gloucester and part of Gray.
Hello, my name is Umbreen Rana. I represent House District 21, Bangor.
And I'm Peggy Rotundo. I represent the people of Lewiston in the State Senate, and I'm also the Senate Chair of the Appropriations Committee. And I want to introduce Lucia Nixon, our Principal Analyst, and Mylinda Mulla Everett, who is our Committee Clerk. And before we begin, I want to give a special shout out to Judy St. Pierre, who works downstairs in the Welcome Center, who baked beautiful cupcakes for the Appropriations Committee yesterday. So they are behind us, and I hope you will enjoy. And thank you very much, Judy, if you're listening. We have some language that the committee is ready to vote in today. And I think we can just begin. Representative Gatine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I'm going to take up a number of language items. I think there might be a handful that I'll move when the DAS Commissioner is here so that she can answer any questions that I'm anticipating some members might have. But the first item I'd like to take up is language Part C, which came from the Education Committee, or it was under the jurisdiction of the Education Committee. It establishes the total cost of education from kindergarten to grade 12, the state contribution, the annual target state sharing percentage, and the mill expectation for the local contribution for fiscal year 26-27. I'd like to move Part C in.
Second.
Second by Representative Ducharme. Discussion. Yes, Representative Ducharme.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just by way of explanation, we often sit here and take votes on particular items, and you will see that some of us will vote for in a particular item, and at the end of the day, we may vote against the total package. Just these are straw votes to help us move the process forward. Individual things that we may support ourselves or our districts or our caucus, at the end of the day, the whole package is what we end up voting on. So I just want to let people know that quite often we'll vote on a particular initiative, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't, the package doesn't come together that we can support, we may have to vote against it. So Just wanted to put that out there so folks understood. When we vote yes here on particular things, these are straw votes, moving the process forward.
Thank you, Representative Ducharme. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item is language part D. Under the jurisdiction of the Appropriations Committee, authorizes the transfer of allocation within or between departments in order to maximize the use of the state local fiscal recovery funds. I'd like to move part D in.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, I think a couple of weeks ago, we moved in part F2, but today I'd like to move in part F1 from the ACF committee. And part F1 changes the amount from $400,000 to $4 million that the governor, during a declared state of emergency, may distribute from the Budget Stabilization Fund to nonprofit entities, including food banks, food pantries, and soup kitchens that provide or distribute food to low-income, indigent, or unemployed individuals or households without charge. I'd like to move part F1 in.
Second that.
Discussion. Yes, Representative Ducharme.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As our House Chair mentioned, this is to be used only in the event of a state of emergency, a declared state of an emergency that lasts more than 10 days. Can this money from the Budget Stabilization Fund be used? So just to clarify that for those listening at home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item I'd like to take up is part H. Also, under the jurisdiction of the AFA committee, clarifies that interest earned on investments of internal service funds must be credited to the general fund. I'd like to move part H in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item is part R. Also under the jurisdiction of the Appropriations Committee. And this transfers $2,500,000 from available balance in the reserve for general fund operating capital to the unappropriated surplus of the general fund. I'd like to move part R in.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item I'd like to take up is skipping ahead to part FF. Get there myself. And part FF was under the jurisdiction of the Education Committee. As originally proposed, it authorizes the receipt and expenditure of private funds to support educational programs. We've been informed that this duplicates language in an LD that has already been enacted. So we are going to move part FF out.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
The next item is part HH, also from the Education Committee, repeals the fund for the efficient delivery of educational services. I'm moving part HH in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
The next item I'd like to take up is item JJ from the Education Committee. It includes costs attributed to professional and administrative staff support as an allowable use of the preschool special education program fund. Clarifies that a school administrative unit's unexpended preschool funds at the end of a fiscal year are carried forward for the same purpose. Madam Chair, the report back from the Education Committee included some technical corrections and updates to subsection 3 of what was proposed. So I'd like to move that item in as amended, as proposed by the Education Committee.
Second.
Discussion. Yes, Representative Fredette.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I noticed the vote was 7-4. After the technical corrections, was it still 7-4 out of the policy committee?
I believe yes, but Michael, do you remember?
We'll check the report back. Lucia, do you have an answer for us?
Well, I just wanted to clarify that since the report back predates the change package, we
so
won't
that
find
won't
anything
happen.
in the report back.
Yeah.
So the policy committee's vote was on the original language and the corrections were technical corrections and updates to the language, but it didn't go back to the policy committee.
Do you want to hold on to this one?
Just make a
To
motion
get
to table it
clarification?
till we get clarification from the committee.
Yeah.
Sure,
we'll
absolutely,
Hold on
sure.
to it.
So, moving on to item KK. From the Education Committee, moves the funding to support 16 to 20-year-olds that are no longer enrolled in public education from the essential programs and services funding calculation to the adult education program. I'd like to move KK in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Representative Ducharme.
Just for clarity on this, there are a number in this cohort of people 16 to 20 years old who may not be enrolled in a regular education classroom, but are getting their high school work done through adult ed. And what this does is basically says that their money from essential programs and services can help support those people.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Representative Brennan.
Thank you, Senator Rotundo. This change actually is of significance. Right now, adult education funds go to the school district. What this does is make a change and the funds now will follow the student. So if a student goes to an adult education program to complete their high school diploma in a different school district, those funds now will follow the student. Currently, there's just an allocation to a school district regardless of where the student is living. So this is a good change because it makes sure that the resources follow the student.
Thank you, Representative Brennan. Yes, Representative Fredette.
Thank you. Representative Brennan, in adult ed has their own separate line item. Is that right? Is that what I recall or no?
There's a separate allocation
Right.
process
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item is part NN, still in education. So this item, under the essential programs and services, repeals the authorization of payment of targeted education funds related to the Fund for the Efficient Delivery of Educational Services. I'd like to move part NN in. Second.
Discussion.
Sorry.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, part OO, still in education, changes the Department of Education Special Services Team Program general fund account to a non-lapsing account to allow the balance to carry forward for its original purpose. I'd like to move Part 00 in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, Part RR from the EUT Committee authorizes any unexpended balances in the Department of Energy Resources General Fund accounts carry and not lapse. I'd like to move Part RR in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? And those opposed? Okay, it's 12-1, the motion carries.
The next item, Madam Chair, is Part UU from the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee, authorizes any unexpended remaining balance at the end of fiscal year 25-26 in the Department of Maine Fire Protection Services Commission, Maine Fire Protection Services Commission Program, all other line category in Public Law 2023, Chapter 459, to carry forward into the next fiscal year. I'd like to move Part UU in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item I'd like to take up is from the Department of Health and Human Services, Part YY. And it repeals the requirement that DHHS annually provide $3 million in TANF block grant funds to Maine State Housing Authority to provide heating assistance for low-income families with children. I'd like to move YY in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item I'd like to take up is Part AAA in HHS. Clarifies that the total supplemental payment to psychiatric hospitals includes appropriations from multiple laws, not only PL 2025, Chapter 388. I'd like to move Part AAA in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, Part CCC, also in HHS, lapses $1 million of the unencumbered balance forward in the Department of Health and Human Services State Supplement to Federal Supplemental Security Income Program, General Fund account, all other line category, to lapse to the unappropriated surplus of the general fund no later than June 30th, 2027. I'd like to move that item in.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Part DDD, still in HHS, lapses $3,600,000 of the unencumbered balance forward in the Department of Health and Human Services General Fund carrying accounts. All other line category lapse into the unappropriated surplus of the general fund no later than June 30th, 2026. I'd like to move Part DDD in.
Second.
Discussion?
Aye.
All in, Representative Ducharme.
Just a point of clarification. We're lapsing $4.6 million from HHS to either all other to the general fund. But yet, when we look at other initiatives, we're giving that money back. It just seems like doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I assume it's because it's in certain accounts and needs to lapse and then it can be spent for other, I mean, I think it might be I'm speculating. We can certainly get somebody from the department to answer that question. But I just think it's from an accounting perspective, the more appropriate way to move money, but we can certainly figure that out.
Because
I
when we come
appreciate your
back here,
observation.
when we come back here and we're going to move $4 million into HHS from general fund, somebody in the public will think, well, wait a minute, they just took $4 million away. So we should at least acknowledge
Very
that
good.
this is an accounting piece that we have to do by virtue of the way the system works.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Madam Chair, the next item is part GGG from IF and W. And, oh no, did we already move that in, Lucian?
We did.
Oh, I apologize. We already moved that in.
We're good.
We won't do it twice. MMM from Marine Resources authorizes the Department of Marine Resources Bureau of Marine Science to carry up to $400,000 for the state's share of match funding related to storm damages from January 2024. I'd like to move MMM in.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? It's unanimous.
And the next item I'd like to take up is part TTT, which transfers up to, it's from VLA, transfers up to $89,082 in fiscal year 26-27 and up to $93,500 in fiscal year 27-28 from the Department of Administrative and Financial Services, Adult Use Cannabis Public Health and Safety Municipal Opt-in Fund, other special revenue funds. It's a mouthful. To the Department of Labor Main Apprenticeship Program, other special revenue fund, to support the continuation of one limited period career center consultant position. I'd like to move part T in.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Hi, Linda, did someone join us from TACF? Okay, just 1 second.
There are some other language parts that there were some questions around, and we're grateful that the DAFS commissioner is here today. And I would invite her to come up so that some of these questions on some of these other language parts can be answered.
Thank you.
Right.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Clark, and welcome.
Afternoon, Senator.
I believe that there was a question around ZZ. And also around language part G. Maybe we can start with G.
I'm going to read it for folks who are at
Please,
home. I'll
please,
just
go
read
ahead.
I'll read the summary for folks listening at home. So G came from the State and Local Government Committee, authorizes any remaining balances in the DAF's Information Services Program and Developmental Services Oversight and Advisory Board Program to carry each fiscal year.
I believe the question had to do with remaining balance.
Yep.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here, Commissioner. With respect to this, I think in committee, they had asked how much money we were talking about here. And kind of looking at how that was going to, if this is within DAFs and so forth, but they had questions about how much and what's the money going to be used for in the other place.
We're talking about section G.
Section G, yes.
And are we talking about the
Yes.
main IT carry forward language?
Yeah, the information services
Yes. okay.
program. Yep. And developmental services. It seemed like they're two different kind of things, IT and developmental services.
Totally different.
I think there was a question about how those things play well together and all that.
They're not related. The initiative for the main IT is regarding a $15 million a year appropriation to main IT for cybersecurity and technology purposes. The reason we're asking to have any excess funds carried forward is, first of all, the amount would be in the $1.5 million to $2 million range. The funds would be used for planning for technology changes, for responses to unexpected cybersecurity events. And what it allows main IT to do is to avoid passing additional charges on through rates to agencies. So they'd have a cushion there to deal with sudden events. I didn't bring the information on the main disability services, but it's a very small agency that hasn't had an increase in the executive director's salary for, I'm going to say, it seems like it was decades, if not maybe 15 years, very long time. And they have a very sparse budget. I'm apologizing that I didn't bring that data over with me because I didn't know I was asked about it, but a very small budget, and carrying money forward would help them with their operations. I'd be glad to go get the information and hop back over here if you want more detail on it.
Either that, if you could just have somebody just shoot us an email.
We'll do that.
Give us a, just kind of a, high level look. This is how much money, this is what they're planning on doing with it. And I think
Yes.
that'll be fine. And if we have further questions, we'll reach back out.
Yeah, it's a tiny operation.
Thank you.
And I believe there was a question on language part ZZ as well. Question for the commissioner.
I think part ZZ is a request that for a small number of limited period positions, I think there are 12, that those limited period positions be continued through up to November 2026. So they don't lapse if there's any kind of a delay in the implementation of the budget. Very small number of positions, and it's just a protection against the positions lapsing if there's a delay.
Representative Ducharme, did you have a follow-up?
Just a point of clarification. Are those 12 positions tied to the federal budget? Because the federal fiscal year begins November 1, and I'm having been through this several times and understanding the timing and the 90-day wait and all the rest of that stuff. If you back up 90 days from November 1, that's like August 1st. I don't think anybody plans on being here July 30th. So is that just giving a some cushion?
It's just giving some cushion to positions that we don't want to have lapse.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on language CC? Okay. I think those are the questions that we had for you, Commissioner. Thank you very much for coming
Thank
and
you.
joining us on such short notice.
Thank you.
We
And I'll
appreciate
send
it.
a little blippy on the developmental committee.
Thank you.
So I'd like to move in part ZZ, which authorizes all limited period positions set to expire on June 26, but are funded through fiscal year 25-26 and are proposed to continue into the 26-27 biennium to continue until November 1st, 2026. I'd like to move that in.
Second that.
Discussion. All in favor? It's unanimous. All right, I think those are the lines that we were prepared to take up. There was a question. Yeah, there was a question regarding language part Z. We had hoped we would have someone here from ACF that could answer that question for us. We gave the department very, very short notice. But perhaps Representative Ducharme, if you want to ask the question, we can get the response that you're looking for.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Part Z basically authorizes the state controller to forward $1 million to be used to repair the T-Loss Dam in the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. The policy committee voted it out, and our question was, this dam needs to be fixed. How will it be fixed? Who owns the dam? And those kinds of questions.
Well, it looks like the DAS commissioner can answer that question. Yes, thank you.
The Telos Dam is under the management of DACF. It needs to be repaired. We have an ongoing a 2026A main governmental facilities bond where there was capacity for including some funding for the design of the repairs in that bond. And the reason there was capacity is that another project was considered ineligible because it was the causeway on Mackworth. Part of the causeway on Mackworth Island was ineligible. Therefore, the MGFA authorized us to include the Telos Dam in that bond issuance, which has started. It has been voted by the MGFA board, and the bond process has started with issuance expected in early May.
Thank you very much. That answers the question.
Thank you.
How are we going to fix it? Now you told me. Thank you.
So we can move this out.
Sorry. Senator Bernard, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'd like to move part Z out.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion on the floor. All in favor of moving Z out? It's unanimous. Thank you. And again, thank you, Commissioner, for coming to be with us on such short notice and being able to answer our questions. I see no other business to come before us. We hope to be back tomorrow afternoon and be able to do more voting. So thank you all for joining us. Anything, Representative Katin? Okay, thank you.